Guys, I know a lot of you think I'm some combination of crazy and stupid, and you might be right, but I think I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with this video. So, back when I was on MasterChef, and even before that show, people would always like ask me if I was a vampire and like joke about me looking like a vampire because especially when my skin was really pale, because I looked like I was straight out of Twilight. But today we actually get to be a vampire, and I bought some beef blood, and you know we could talk about it and taste it and have a little fun. So here's the beef blood. It came in a plastic gallon jug. It was previously frozen, so fresh blood. Will it taste better? No, this is like gross, man. This is gross. Like, all right, let's just try some. So why would we drink blood? Mineral content, electrolytes, protein. Seems good, right? You know what? It doesn't taste as bad as it smells. It doesn't. But there is this aftertaste of a barnyard, and I don't like it. To me, this doesn't smell like blood. This smells like a barnyard. That's literally what it smells like. And I would chug this for you guys, but I've never had this food before. I've never drank from this producer before. If I chug this, I might get sick. It's going to take a couple days for my stomach to adjust to this, so I'm just going to take a few sips. Although I'm not too keen on using frozen blood as a source for this, I don't personally think there's anything wrong with freezing certain things. It does compromise the texture, but I don't think the nutrient content is compromised. And what beneficial bacteria is there going to be in fresh animal blood? I don't really think there's going to be any, but I can safely say that, you know, there's some vitamin C in here too. I'm not sure about the other fat soluble vitamins because it's not fat, it's protein. But there's definitely some vitamin C in here, plenty of minerals, protein. You know, it doesn't really, has that slight, you know, if you ever lick your cut, it has that slight mineral aftertaste to it, but it's not very strong. This is actually really pleasant, and I'm not exaggerating. The smell is just, if I never smelled this, I would love it. But I smelled it, and the smell grosses me out for some reason. But the taste, the aftertaste, how it goes down is fine. I'm not going to drink any more, guys. I'm probably going to get an upset stomach as is. I already drank a couple of gulps of this. But this was just more of a testing video and to show you guys it. And I'm going to see if I could try. I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's reasonable to not drink any water at all and only drink blood, because reality is, what happens when I'm thirsty at the gym? You know, what happens when I'm thirsty driving down to work? What happens when I'm thirsty and I'm at work and I can't? You're not always going to have access to something like this, and I just don't think it's practical. It might be nice to do an experiment for a week or two to see what happens and how I feel, but honestly, guys, it just doesn't seem like something that is, especially from an access standpoint, it's very hard to get this blood, like, let alone fresh. So I don't really think that's going to be plausible, but if you guys have never had blood before, I don't think you're really missing out on anything. But it might be a really good option for hydration for those of you guys who are like weird raw meat eaters that don't want to drink water. But outside of that, guys, that's really it. I mean, I don't really have much to speak on the health benefits of this. I guess I should have said that blood is supposed to have a very high amount of vitamin D3, but with it being frozen, was the animal on pasture before it was slaughtered? That's up in the air. That's very debatable. That depends on the quality of the animal. So you can't say whether or not for certain that blood has a substantial vitamin D3 content. It's supposed to in ideal conditions, but we don't really know. So thank you guys for watching. This is the first time I've ever tried blood, and that was the first time I've literally ever tasted it. And this might be the first time I ever get a stomach ache from eating blood. So, just one last thing to touch on, guys. If you ever eat a food that you've never eaten before, don't go crazy, because your stomach isn't used to it. You might get sick. You could eat ribeye steaks for 3 years and then switch your producer and get sick because it's a new type of animal from a new place. So I forgot to put this story in the video. And so I'm walking, this was like, I think the end of last year, and I had an interview, and then I got called in for a working interview at a bartender at this place on the Lower East Side. Very like affluent club where people came in to drink and eat, and like fashion models, socialites, stuff like that. And I'm on the way to this interview. I had this like miserable drive down to the Lower East Side. I wasn't really in a good mood, so I parked my car and I'm walking like pretty fast over. I just want to get there because I'm like almost late. Like it's like 2:55 and I have to be there at 3 o'clock. So I'm walking pretty fast to the place to be a few minutes early. And this girl is like in front of me. There's like a group of girls walking on my left, and I pretty much like I walked past them so fast, but before I walked past them, I noticed in my peripheral vision she was like trotting in these heels, and she like stopped and looked, and then what she said was, "Oh my God, are you a vampire?" And this was when I was pale as hell. My hair was longer. I literally looked like a vampire. I was wearing like a bow tie and like a white shirt. I had a vest on. I literally looked like a vampire. Like I was dressed up as a vampire for Halloween. If I had some blood dripping down my face, you would have thought I was a vampire. So I hear that and I'm like, I start laughing, but I was so worried about being late to this job that I just kind of walked past her. And I hear that, like, I hear behind me, like, her running after me in the heels. I hear her, like, trotting after me. And I guess she gave up, but I heard across the street some guy yelled, "Yo, she wants to suck your balls, bro." I was hysterical, man. I like walked into the place I was doing the working interview at, and I was like crying hysterical. And after I went in and checked in with them at the hotel, I actually went back outside to see what was going on, but I didn't see the people on the street anymore. I think it was like a group of people going to this event. I think it was maybe a family event or a party or something, but it was a group of friends messing around. But that's the funniest vampire story I have for you guys. I wish I was a better storyteller, and I wish that I honestly had it on video, because it really was hysterical. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully none of you ever buy blood or decide to drink it, but I don't know, maybe sometime in the future I'll try to get my hands on some fresh blood and do an experiment where I only drink blood as my sole source of hydration. Maybe I don't know. I gotta drive down to the Bronx and look at some live kill markets. We'll see.